All right, perfect. Hi. Okay. All right. So today we're just going to get right to it. So for today we're going to be focusing on product design. And yesterday we had to deal with front-end web development. Okay, so remember that we mentioned that this is a 3 days masterclass, which we're touching base on both the front end, the product design, and the back end part of things. Yes, so for day two, we're focusing on product design. So for our facilitator, we have Folashade. I'm sure majority of us, if you are in the design space, you'll be very conversant with Folashade, who has been doing really amazing in the design world, really. So I'm just going to introduce her. So Folashade is a passionate senior product designer and design educator dedicating to demystifying design, creating opportunities for aspiring designers across Africa and other continents. She has over, sorry, please hold on, please. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. So she has over 6 years of experience in the tech industry. Fola has worked with various tech companies, fintech, health tech, logistics, edutech, and established companies to create meaningful digital experience. So her expertise spans across UI, UX design, design thinking, user research, design systems, and as an educator, she has trained and mentored over 500 product designers, some of whom have gone on to secure roles. So her teaching philosophy centers on practical, hands-on learning that prepares designers for real-world experience. So this is a very, very amazing bio. And in fact, I'll allow Folashade to just, for you to hear from the horse's mouth because, yeah, she's really good at what she does, the design she does. So, um, Folashade, are you ready? You have the floor, please. Thank you. If you're speaking, we can't hear you. Hello? Okay, I'm sure she's having network problems. So let's just give her about 1 minute to try to reconnect back. Falashani, I can't still hear you. I can't hear you clearly. Let's give her a few minutes trying to sort out issues. The technical. Hi, Falashani, I can't still hear you. Can you try changing your microphone settings? Because I can't hear you. Try changing your microphone settings. I'm send you. Hello, Flashly, can you hear me? Mm. Hello. Can anyone hear her? I can't hear. No, I can't. Okay, in the meantime, while we wait, can someone just get to tell us what they got to learn yesterday? Um Salam, can we start with you? Can you just tell us one thing that stood out for you in yesterday's class?
Okay, so what I could pick from, not what I could pick, what I got was he talked about CSS. He talked about CSS, which is like the how do I put it? Uh, I don't know how to explain. Okay, it's like the uh like it is like a tool. Do I put it that way? That embodies the layout, responsiveness, and aesthetic of the um that is what I like. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I understand what it is. It's make things pleasing, like the aesthetic, it make it look nice. Like when you see it, it's attracting and fascinating. Like I think that is it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Salam. So more like an easier way to add colors to your front-end work.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you attempted your assignments on the landing page?
No, I haven't been around this class. I was just trying to squeeze in. Because right now, I've not been able to do it because I've not been around physically. I'll try that.
Thank you, Salam. Folashade, can you hear me now? Are you audible?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. I
Oh,
can.
finally. I think I need to update my Chrome something. I think I need to update my Chrome. That's why I'm having that issue because I know I've experienced this before. Hi, everybody. Good evening. So excited to be here. And I think I need to share my screen so that I can get started. And alongside with me today, opportunity to have one of my mentees who happen to be our programs coordinator at Designer for Laseko. Her name is Oluwaseun Bewaji, and she's the lead designer at Kenna. Hi, Oluwaseun. Just say hello. So after my part, she's going to come up as well. So it's going to be an interesting one. And yeah, hi, Sheon, please just say something. Let them hear you. So are you saying something? I can't hear you. If you are, hello. I don't know if my network. Can anybody hear her? Or is it my network? Let me just switch.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, 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 I can.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Good evening. So
Yes.
myself and Shane will be taking today's class, right? So I'm going to take a part of the class, and she's going to take a part of the class. So just sit down and relax, and we're in for this. And I bet you're going to enjoy the class and also have a good time in class today. So yeah, let me share my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen? Hello? Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Can you just tell me what you're saying?
Like an image, a design crash course beyond the surface understanding product design.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to be having like a design crash course, beyond the surface, understanding. That's why I like my Chrome, because now I have to be sure that you guys are seeing what I'm saying. I don't even know if you guys are seeing what I'm saying. Anyways, can you guys hear me? All right. I guess you guys can hear me, right? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Just give me a few minutes, please. I don't know. Okay. Um, Victoria, please, can you share? I don't understand. Something is going on. I don't know why. I want to share. I want to download something and share with you. Is it possible you help me present it?
Um, okay. All right. Let me try that. Um,
Oh, should I export as? Should I send PDF to you?
yeah, PDF is fine.
Okay. Please, I'm so sorry, guys. Just give me a few minutes. I didn't know that my browser. Okay, let me just share with you. So Victoria will just. Mm, Okay. Okay, while Victoria is trying to put that up, there are some things that I have noted down that I wanted to share with you, right? So that you know that this is a very serious class, right? And a very serious conversation, right? And the first thing is who I am. So you might be wondering, oh, who is this person that wants to take us this class? Is she really efficient for this class? Just like Victoria has read my bio, I've trained a lot of product designers, and so this is not like my first class. And say maybe I'm doing like a test run or a practical. So, and I also like if you have questions, you share. Then I also like try to use relatable examples so that it can stick. And when you are being woken up from your sleep and ask certain questions, you are able to answer. Victoria, have you seen it? Hello, Victoria. Hello.
Yes, I've seen share my screen. Hold
Okay. Okay. So today one of my job here is to it's not just to show you how to design, right? I want you to understand what design really is. So at the end of the session, my goal is simple, that you are able to understand what design is itself, how to design. So you understand that what design is, right? I know many of you have heard about product design or UI/UX design, but today we want to talk about what design is, right? And also do like a bit of practical, which Shane will take us through on how to design itself, right? So let me quickly introduce myself. Brief stuff about me. My name is Folashade Adegbite, product designer, senior product designer in Switch, and I started designing in 2019, right? Beyond designing or beyond my work at Into Switch, I also like own a community called Designer for Circle, where I mentor and support designers at two major stage, aspiring designers and um, beginners, right? Designers between 0 and 2 years, right? And I've seen a lot of beginners actually struggle, right? And I've seen how they tend to have a lot of practical teachings. I've had designers do like different courses, like they go for different boot camp. Today they can attend one boot camp, another time they attend one boot camp. At the end of the day, they don't like practice what they've learned, and that's why this I'm making sure that this is not just for you to just learn and learn, but actually do the work, actual work, right? So, like I said earlier, today's session you're going to gain clarity on the next slide is number two. Number two, I'm on number two. Is what product design really is, then understanding different areas in design, right? We have, based on the organization you're going to work with eventually, we have like different fields in design, right? And also direction on how to start. Like I said, not just to talk and talk and talk, but actually doing it. So let's go to the third slide, which is what is product design itself. So a lot of people think that, yeah, I've seen it happen. So that's why I can say confidently that a lot of people they think design is about just making things look nice. I've had like a childhood friend who happens to be a doctor reach out to me that he had interest in designing. And the way he said it in my head, I'd be like, oh, this guy does not know that product design is different from what it's actually saying. Right. If you say something like I like to draw, I like to do this, I like to do that, right? And that's how different people feel. They feel like, oh, design is just let's just blast the color, let's just have the color. Oh, maybe it's the way it should look, let's just have the shapes and all that, and that's fine. Or you feel it's graphic design. They are two different things, right? Um I would say that the colors that you see, the images, the fonts, maybe the design looks fine, or the the whatever you're looking at looks good. Yeah, it's a part of it, but that's not all. There's more to that. There's more to colors. There's more to nice fonts, or oh, this looks beautiful. There's more to that. Like there's more, right? So what I want to say, and I want you to hold on to, is that product design is actually about solving real problems. Very simple. Product design is about solving real problems for real people. It's not just colors or vibes or oh go and change the UI. No, 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 no. It's beyond that. It's actually solving real problems, people's pain, people's what people are going through. We are trying to solve it and bringing it in a actual form that people can actually use, using technology to build something that people can actually use, right? So let me say again that design is problem solving. So if you feel like you are here because oh I can draw. Yeah, it's part of it. Yeah, creativity. Yes, you need creativity. I like to put things together, or I like to add colors together. It's part of it, right? But one thing that I want you to think about is the part that you're going to be solving problems, right? So yes, I understand that the look and feel. I used to tell my mentees that when I'm teaching like design class, I tell them that when you see a good design, for instance, maybe a good website, and I want you to attest to that, right? When you see a good website, there's this nudge that you want to explore it compared to when you open a website and you are seeing scattered. Sometimes you might be scared and be like, oh no, what is this? And you just take it away. But imagine that you go on a particular website and you click on it, the link, it loads and it populates actually what is on the it looks like I lost. Hello, guys, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, sorry. Apologies. I don't know what's going on tonight, but please don't be distracted with whatever issues going on. Victoria, please can you help me put it on full mode because it's showing other screens. That way you can put it on full mode to just show the exact screen I'm on. All right. So like I was asking that I wanted you guys to attach to something like when you go on a website. For me, when I go on a website and I click on it, it loads or populate whatever is on it. There's this nudge to like if it's very like if it looks very good or very like the look and feel is beautiful or it looks good. There's this nudge that I want to like try into what the website is about, like more detail because from the first instance it actually looks good. Do you have anybody like that you've gone on a website and oh my god, what's going on? Okay, what about now? Because I've tried to switch network and that one is even worse. Better,
I
okay,
can hear
thank you.
you clearly.
Oh, okay. Someone dropped Salam. She dropped that my voice was cracking. All right. So I wanted to ask again. So has anybody have you gone on a website before that when you click on it, you saw that it was very beautiful and you decided like to click on like to go through the website and click on it? Do you have anybody like that? Like you've gone through a website, you click on a particular URL, it loads and you saw that it was beautiful and you said, oh, I want to see more, I want to see more. Oh, thank you. Is there any other person that you went to a website, you wanted to do something on a website, maybe someone recommended the website to you, or you just stumbled on that website on online, then you click on it and you get to see that maybe you saw it, you just saw it scattered everywhere, and immediately you just have to just remove it. Have you ever has that ever happened to you where you click on a website and it looks so scattered, rumpled and all that, and you just have to close the website and just move on to other things? Do you have any other person like that? Do you have anybody experience that? Anybody? So that means all the website that you've gone through is actually good. You feel like it's good, right? So anyways, like I said earlier, design is about problem solving, right? And your visual is important, yes. So don't say, oh, well, Fola said that design is about problem solving, yes. But what I used to say, like I was saying earlier, is that what will keep people to use it? No, the first instance, like it's just like you're a front desk person and you get to a company, or sorry, or a visitor comes to the company and see the way you have been dressed and all that, the way you talk, your poise, your posture, your grooming, how you groomed yourself and all that. There's a way that they are inspired to stay or to even approach you and all that. But imagine that a customer comes to a company and the front desk is looking like a mad person. Do you think that that customer will want to stay? Right? So even from the front desk conversation, it might even have more interest in the company to know, oh, what more, how can I stay and get the services of this company? So it's just like design that if your UI is not great, people might not want to know, have a taste, even if your UX is fantastic, because your UI is what they see first. So if your UI is fantastic and your UX is not fantastic, that's another problem. But the UI first, then the UX. Anyways, I know you'll be wondering, what's UI, UX? We're going to talk about it more in my conversation, right? So, as a designer, so for those that eventually you want to take this as a job or a career, your job is not just to make things beautiful, right? Before I used to say, as I put myself, I love creating. I can't remember how I said, but I used to like put more energy on the beautiful. But as I grew in my design, I just knew that it's not just about beautiful, but actually a functional product, right? Your job is actually to make things useful, usable, and meaningful. I used to tell my mentees that your product must have 4 major qualities, which is usable, useful, enjoyable. And the network is bouncing me out. What's going on? Guys, I really don't know what's going on with network today, but apologies for that. All right. I was explaining that your products, if you're, as a product designer, your products must be usable, must be useful, right? Must be enjoyable. Like people, they have to, whatever product you're building has to be enjoyable. Like people want to talk about it, people want to use it, they want to refer your products to their friends. Your product is useful. You're not building something that at the end of the day, nobody will be able to use it. Right. And especially if you are building something that maybe profit, you want to get profit from it or whatever, it has to be equitable, it has to sell in the market, right? So next slide, we're going to be talking about design processes, right? And I want you to know that design don't just happen. It's not random. There's a process that you need to follow, right? And this process is actually what separates a designer from someone who actually maybe a graphic designer or someone that just likes to design things or just do beautiful things, right? And the process goes like this. We have the problem, right? The research, the ideation, design, and test. I'm going to explain it. So, and there's a state where we call improve, which is iteration. We're going to still talk about it. I'll say that again. The problems, the process, design process. The first one is the problem, right? Where you identify the challenge you want to solve. You for instance, if you're working in an organization, right? Maybe the stakeholders, they had to sit and talk about, oh, we're trying to solve a problem, or maybe based on the market research that has been done, they discover that there's a problem or there's a need in the market, right? They gather, talk about it, right? Sometimes some organization bring the designer from the early stage, even when they identify the challenge, right? Why some, when they identify the challenge and decide that they feel that they can solve the problem, they bring designer in. But whatever, the designer has to come from the first stage, which is when you identify that there's a challenge, right? You start with the problem, or you're able to identify, if for instance, there was a time in Nigeria that we didn't have POS, right? POS, people had to go a long distance. I can't remember the last time I actually went to a bank to actually withdraw money. Maybe when I had to, it's been a long time. Most time I just use POS. And POS coming to Africa or coming to Nigeria was it's about someone actually discovering a challenge that, some organization, I'm sorry, I said for some community, they don't even have banks at all. I've served somewhere where I served in Edo State, and where I was staying, I had to take a bike, and the bike is to Auchi, and my side to Auchi was very far. Like, I'll spend hours on the bike for me to go to an actual bank to withdraw money. So imagine that. I think it was now later, maybe my own side where I said there was no POS at that time, because I can't remember withdrawing with POS. Because I know that anytime I want to withdraw, because I had like a checkbook, I didn't even have an ATM, right? So I had to like go take a bike long distance. So imagine the risks. Anything could happen. It was an express and all that. I had to risk to just get money. And someone thought about it that, why can't we have POS agents that you just go there, use your ATM card and collect money? Because I remember that later when I finally realized I could actually use my ATM card I think there was a POS agent around me later. But at that, when I first got there, I had to travel back down to the bank. So that's like a challenge. Let's say there was no even POS at all. Let's just imagine there was no POS at all, and I was a corporate. Then I now got there, or I'm a product designer, or maybe a tech person or a business person. Then I got there. I said, so I have to go far to the bank, take bike, long distance, transportation fare and all that, risks and all that. And I have to travel far down to Ahachi to actually say, and imagine someone and I thought about that, okay, why can't we create a problem where we have somebody like a POS agent? Maybe the person will have to go to the bank, withdraw money that I will need for weeks or months, then stay in a store. Let me just assume. And we just use like a POS machine to actually collect money. The person to collect money or to send money, because you can also send money through the POS. And someone will talk about that solution and say, this is a challenge, and they discover the challenge. So that is the part of challenge. Before we talk about the solution, right? We have to identify the challenge we want to solve. What is the problem? What is the problem statement? You see something they call problem statement. And people, communities around maybe Edo State, let's use an example, don't have access to banking facilities. They have to travel down to Auchi or far distance for them to be able to get money. Right? That's a problem. You have identified the problem. That's one side. Right? Now the next side is research, where you now tend to like learn about the users. You understand the users, because you don't forget the users is let's say people of Edo State. The problem is that they don't have access to banking facility, or banking facilities is very far to them. Or maybe because of people had to travel there, maybe there have been results of accident, there have been results of kidnapping. Let's just use that as an example, right? That's a problem. Now, when we come to research, we now tend to understand the users. Are these people, with this product, if we eventually bring this solution to these people, will it solve their problems? If you bring the POS, that they don't need to travel down. And don't forget that when you are withdrawing money, it comes with a cost. So if you count your costs and say, if I travel down, let's say for me to take a bike to Aochi was like 1,000 naira, and I want to go and imagine I want to withdraw 5,000 naira, and I have to travel down. Because research now comes from a place of you talking to the people that will actually use the product, not that you are solving a problem for somebody in Aochi. You're not in Lagos asking people questions. That's misplaced priority. Like, I don't know how you want to do that. You have to talk to people that are involved. And it does not mean that you have to talk to everybody. They call something sample size. You don't have to talk to everybody. And again, let's say the community, they are not techie people. You have to, because there's a part where we do quantitative and qualitative research, which is the qualitative is where you interact, like at interviews and all that. While the quantitative is the survey. I don't know if you've heard about survey or questionnaire, where you share out questionnaire and ask certain questions based on the problem you're trying to solve, right? But in the context of where I served or something, they don't even have access. Let's say they don't have access to technology, right? You as the product designer or researcher have to now go there and start asking questions one after the other and say, oh, what's the challenge? We're trying to solve this kind of problem. What do you think about this? From the place of research, you get to now know deeper understanding of the actual problem we are going through. And from there, you're able to visualize, or based on study of the people, their character, their patterns, their pain points, you're able to see, oh, this is like the best way for us to solve this problem. And you're also able to see from research to know if this product or this solution you're providing to them is actually usable or is useful to them. Because you don't want to, it's a lot of, it's a waste of time where you build something and at the end of the day, it's not usable. At the end of the day, it's not useful to anybody. You don't want to get to that part. And that's why you as a product designer, you want to actually solve people's problem, actual problem. You want whatever you are start. So let's say we've done our research, we talked to people, let me say women and men in let's give the community a name, let's say Aroko. We've talked to them, we know their pain points, we know what they are going through, and we also see, okay, this and their patterns or accident and all that. Then you're able to have a clear understanding. Now the next stage is now for you to, based on the understanding, the data you've received from people. Before I continue, everybody, are you guys with me? I want to believe that I'm not talking alone. I'm talking to everybody, and we're good.
Yes, yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your response. All right. Now the next state is where you now start to brainstorm, or you explore your ideas. So you tend to brainstorm. Oh, you already know the problem. You already spoke with your potential target audience. We call them target audience, people that you want to build with or build for, right? You already have a context of whatever their patterns and all that. Now there's now the place where the idea, we call it ideation, where you now like explore your ideas or potential solution. I know that sometimes maybe you have a group, maybe maybe you're grouped, or maybe I don't know, people that are in school or whatever. Maybe you are given like a problem and say, oh yeah, go and solve this. There's a place where you now brainstorm and say, oh, what is like the possible solution, right, to make sure that this is the best results, right? At this stage of ideas, I don't used to say any idea is stupid or foolish, because you're still sampling, exploring ideas to see, does this work? Can this work? Is this the best solution, right? Will this work for them, right? So you explore, and while you're exploring, you're doing like, we call something crazy eight, where you try to explore, but like one of the best way, like they call it crazy eight, right, where you try to explore different design that can work for the solution in 8 different sprints. That's like the simplest way I can explain it to you, right? And the next stage is after you've brainstormed potential solutions, because at the end of the day, you now need to know, okay, what's like the best based on what I have, or context of what I have about the user, their behavior and all that. What's like the best for me to build. And that's when we now move to design stage, where you now create actual solutions. That's designing a prototype, right? Don't worry, we're going to Shem is ready for us. She's going to show us like prototype, how to use show us one design tool that's very common and how we can use it, right? And I know that, and again, I'm in this class, I'm not going to talk about AI, so I'm not going to talk about AI. I'm intentional about it. I don't, for a first timer, I don't talk about AI, and that is very intentional, because number one, I want you to have understanding of basic things. If you have understanding of, because tools, AI is a tool. And I believe that when I started with Adobe XD, and some people started with Sketch. And right now, yes, AWS is still in the market, maybe Scarce is still in the market, but I noticed something that tools will come and go, right? So I'm not so in case you know about AI already, or you use ChatGPT or Claude to build stuff. That's not why we are here right now. Maybe in subsequent classes, if we're opportune, we can talk about how to build AI. But right now, we want to have an understanding, basic understanding, foundation, which is very key. Another thing that I didn't point out in my story, I didn't talk about, just to go back, was the fact that when I started my career as a product designer, I had 2 months to learn. I actually learned stuff in 2 months, right? But there was something that happened in that 2 months that I jumped into design like almost immediately. And at the end of the day, when I had my first job appraisal, one of the feedback that my line manager gave at that time was that he noticed that there were there's a lot of things that I've missed, that I might need to go back to the basics. And that's why most times I'm always like take my time to talk to people about the basics, like learn the basics, fundamentals before you start jumping into stuff and all that, right? Anyways, just to go back to where we're coming from. The last part is after building a solution, that is the UI, designing the solution with Figma or whatever tool you're going to use. After designing, you now tend to test, right? You test that whatever you built with the real users, right? And your real user in this case could be because it's the POS agent I'll be using it, not me or not the customer. The POS is with the POS agent. So you have to, and those people have to be people that understand how, at least have basic knowledge of how technology work, right? So if I want to test with them and to see, okay, this thing I'm building, does it work? You're not giving them leading questions, you're just seeing how they explore it, how they test it, how they use it, where did they stop or where did they pause and say, I don't understand this, I don't know what this means and all that. So all those patterns are able to study them and know how to iterate. And that's the iteration part I was talking about, which is improve part, call it iteration, where after they've tested your product with a real user, you now tend to like iterate based on their feedback, tangible feedback. You're not just going to collect feedback anyhow and just say, oh, because Shebi is my user that said it. You have to also look into it and give like a better solution, right? And I just want to ask everybody, have you ever used an app or maybe a website and had the thought that why is this so difficult to use? Has anybody had that experience where you use a particular app and you're confused and you're like, oh, what does, like, I don't even know the next thing for me to do. I don't even know what next to click. I don't even know what this mean. Do we have anybody here? Okay. Is it only Salam that is here? Every other person, you've never had that problem where you use an app or a website and you had the thought like, this is okay. Farouk too. Any other person? Any other person? Are we with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Are you with me? Hello. I want to be sure that we are all in this class. Not that you muted yourself and you left. I want to hear from everybody. Please give me your thumbs up. Yes, yes. Okay. All right. So I would say that if you have had that experience where you used something and it was difficult to use, or you found it confusing, I feel like there's a design process problem, right? Because I believe that if you follow the processes, right, yes, there's room for iteration, so there's room for improving. But I feel that if you follow the processes, you get to get feedback, actual feedback from your users, not that you built something and you just tested it yourself and say, oh, maybe I'm the one that built it. So as far as the one that built it, that means it works. No. Whenever you build something, even if it's not something that is going live, but you're actually solving a problem, you should test with actual users, test with real people. And the real people you can start with your family and friends. You can stand with people around you. You don't have to go far and say, oh, people come and test my products and all that, right? But one thing I also want to encourage, one of the skills that I want you to build aside being a problem solver is feed receiving feedback with grace, right? For me, when I started, it was like when I get feedback, I used to feel bad about it, but I was able to like separate emotions from my work. I believe that this feedback is for the best, right? To make this product actually better, right? I don't know if it has happened to you before where you thought you did something right and you feel like, oh wow, I've done the best, even in yourself that, oh, this is the best, then somebody comes and give you feedback and you be like, how come I didn't see this? So sometimes in design it happens like that you design something in your head, you're feeling fly like, oh, I'm the boss, I'm the best in this game and all that. Then somebody comes, another person or another designer comes and say, oh, this you miss it. I mean, like, oh, I didn't even see it. So another thing is that have the grace to receive feedback, basically. Let me start word. All right. Next slide, please. So why design matter? This is a very, very, very good question, right? Gone are those days where before product design or before the actual product design became common or product designer stuff became common, there was a time that from the brainstorming stage or whatever, it just moves to the front end designers and front end engineers. And most times, front end engineers don't really. Sometimes, let me not say most times, so that they will not drag me or all that. Sometimes they don't really. They're not. They don't care about how your design should look or experience. You know that is it working? It's working. Thank God, and that's all. But you as a designer, it's not just about is it working? What's the experience like? What's the look and feel? What's the business impact? Right? Front end designers, is it working? Maybe they not cook beans, they are good. As far as they not cook beans. And the buttons are working. Whether the button is flying, they don't care. As far as is the button working, fine. Is the text can you see the text? You can see the text fine. But why design matter? Right, don't mind them. So why design matter is that every is number one for better user experience, right? Every time you struggle with a banking app or every time a payment fails and you don't understand why, or every time a website actually confuses you, it's a design problem. You know, sometimes when engineers, when they do something, they will not drag. I don't know, because even me, before I even understand what product design, me, I used to drag designers. Me, I didn't even know that they were even called product designers. There was one day where I was working before I moved to tech. I just saw one website. I was like, who is this person that did this kind of design like this? This person did not even look at this. He just gave us that kind of thing. And the truth is that that's how it happens. Oh, they will drag you. They will not drag the engineer and say, who implemented this kind of thing? Because I've had times that I will design something. Oh yeah, you know that feel that what you ordered versus what you got. You ordered for something, you design, you as the product designer, the expert in the game, you gave the best UI, the best user experience. You thought about your user, you thought about the business impact, you did everything, you did your job well. Then you now handed off to front end or engineers and you receive the work. You're not like, this is what I ordered versus what I got. How did it happen? How did it come in? But don't worry, as you journey in design, you're going to understand all those parts, right? Because sometimes people might not get so, and that's why there's what they call collaboration in software, in design or in technologies, the collaboration part where we make sure that everything is done the right way it should be, right? But I'm just saying this is just to make you understand some things, right? So one of the things that they discover design matter. I've had to, I think I can't remember. I think one of my interviews or my first interview, because before I was introduced, like I became a junior product designer. They asked me, why should we employ you? I can't remember what I said, but I actually shared my value as a product designer. That I really can't remember, but I know that that day, after that conversation, I was proud of myself that, oh wow. So if they hire me, this is what they will actually be getting. Right. So good design actually makes things easy. You're not designing just for vibes or designing for, oh, it looks beautiful, I'm going to use color purple. Color purple is my favorite color, so I'm going to use color purple. Oh, I like dark mood, I like light mood. Those conversation is beyond that, right? A good design makes this easy. It builds trust. It improves user experience. That's one. Now, from the side of business impact, one of the things that you should know for a product designer is that your design should drive, or it drives customer satisfaction. When a front-end person and a product designer, if they give a task, like say maybe a problem, oh yeah, go and design. Or maybe let's say for instance, they gave a challenge and say, oh, product designer, this is the task I have for both of you, but I want you to go separately. Product designer, just give me your design. Front end, just design anything, implement whatever in your code. They should not come and see that your own design it's just about UI, and there's no actual impact that it has on the customer. So if, for instance, there's a problem on any design, or maybe there are sometimes that because of time and all that, they just move to development. Nowadays, AI, you can just test with AI and all that, right? But imagine there was a time where you have to, the front-end person will just develop. There was no designer. There was no designer around. They just have to develop something, right? So there were times like that, right? Then finally, they now thought about, oh, let's make this thing look more, let's give this a better experience and all that, right? They now call you as a product designer to come and design something. You should not now come and add problem to it. Number one, you should think about the customer, which is the user, and also the business impact. You want to, because you want to give value in your organization. You don't want people to see you as just someone that paints color or just add text. You want them to see you as a problem solver that also increases engagement or customer retention, right? Or drive revenue, because whatever you build, if for instance maybe a particular product in your company or whatever, they are having issues with onboarding, maybe people are dropping off, you as a problem solver, when you pick that product up, there should be a better use of that product. People should come back, or there should be a better retention on that product. That's when you're able to tell management that, oh, when let's use an example, when Shadow, when she worked on this product, because of this there was impact. We usually had 90 drop off, but after she redesigned it or picked up the project, we now have 100% retention rate. That's an impact of the products, because you might feel like, oh, well, I'm not the one bringing the sales, but what about the other things, right? So as designers, one of the things I want you to take home from this conversation before we move to our practical, because I need to speed up before, so that we can have the session with Sheil, is that you are not just a creative, but you are a problem solver with real impact. I'm going to take that again. You're not just creatives, or creatives as they call us. You are actually a problem solver with real impact. I am a problem solver, right? The next slide, please. Okay, so now let's talk about different areas in design, because one of the mistakes that beginners make is trying to do everything at once. Yes, like I said, in some organization, you are all in one, depending on where you are working, depending on the structure of the organization. If it's depending on the structure of the organization. But there are let me just talk about 4 major areas. There's one part they call UI design, which is about how things work, right? From the place of creating your visual language, maybe your colors, oh, this is the typography I want to use, oh, these are the icons, oh, the layout, that is the look and feel, the aesthetics. That's one part of it. There's another part, which is the UX part, which is they are just focused on how things work. There's no other thing. They're just focused on how For instance, how you go to maybe you achieve a goal on a particular app. Let's say, for instance, you're using a financial mobile app. Let's say a Kuda Bank, right? Mobile app. Now, one of the goal you want to do there is to make transfer. Now, a UX person is concerned about how that flow works, how you're able to, from the point of opening the app to the point of actually transferring the money. That's the work of UX. Like, that's it. How things work, making sure it's functional. Now, there's the part of UX researcher. So we have people, they call them UI UX designer, which is the look and feel together, how it works. We have people like that. Maybe in some organizations, they are just UI or UX. But in some organizations, they are combined UI and UX. Right now, in some organization, we have the UX research people, where their own job is to understand the users, understand the market, understand how user behaves, understand their needs, understand what motivates them, and how do they get to know about all this. It's through one-on-one conversation, interviews, through surveys, observation, how they use a particular product. Right, like I was explaining in the design process, the research part, right? And there's now the part which is what I do, which is the product design. In my organization, we have the research, we have product and user researcher, and we have product design. Right? Product design is, you now get to combine every of these things together. Why some organization is just they're focused on the UI UX part. Yes, but you work with the researcher to ensure that they understand user behavior. They understand, is this product, is it visible? Can it work? Will it thrive? That kind of thing. Is it usable? That kind of thing. Will it be useful in the market or to our users? Right? So a product designer brings all this simply together to actually create an holistic solution that actually balances, I used to say this thing, the user and the business goal. You're not just about the user. Oh, my user, I'm just to give my user experience. You have to also give your worth to the business, because at the end of the day, you are not in the business to just for vibes. You are in the business to actually make real impact. I hope we are together. If we are together, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Right? So, just to make emphasis again, so UI, just have understanding that UI design is the visual part, which includes the color, typography, the layouts, the buttons. So just see UI is what you actually see or what users see. But here's the truth. Good UI is not just about beauty. It's about clarity. If you lose, one thing I want you to know, that if your product or design, if it looks good but confuses the user, that's not a good design. So you cannot even call it a good design. If it looks good and it still confuses your user does not know what some people, because they want to be more creative, or they want to stand out. Something that is already familiar with people, they want to change it. For instance, imagine that if you see an home icon in any app, it looks alike. Then you now imagine that because you want to be creative or you want to explore, you now get to go and design one thing, maybe umbrella. You now use umbrella icon as your home icon, and you not even put a label. Please, would that not be confusing to the user? That what is this umbrella? Like the user will think about different things. That umbrella, what can the umbrella be for? So there's even that part too. Right? But one thing is that if it looks good, if your product looks good or your design looks good, but confuses the user, that's not a good design. Just know that. Now, again, making emphasis on UX design so that you understand the differences. UX is about how things work. And one of the things it focuses on is the user flow, the structure, the ease of use, how people are able to use it conveniently. Is it enjoyable? Is it usable? Can a user actually complete a task easily? Or they are looking for send button, send money, or looking for how they want to transfer, or looking for how to complete their transaction. They are not looking for it up and down. It's even confused. They don't even know where to start. Maybe they open they log in. After logging in, they see the home screen. They don't even know how do I want to transfer money, or how do I want to buy airtime. Or maybe you are creating a food app and they click on it, they sign up and all that. Then they get to the food this thing. Oh yeah, how do I buy food? How do I order for food? And it's confusing. That's a problem. But UX is there to solve that problem. Can a user move from point A to B without confusion? That this thing out, that kind of thing. Those things are what UX is there to fix. UX is how it looks. UI is how it looks. But UI is how it looks. UX is how it works. So just say look and feel, or look and work, or how it looks, how it works, for you to just have a better understanding. Are we with me? All right. Now, emphasis again on the UX facts, right? Before you design anything in this life, let me use this word, in your career, you need to understand people. It's just like, I like using relationship a lot to explain. You're in a relationship and you don't even know anything about your partner, and you want to solve problem. Maybe your partner is complaining that maybe he talks about something, and you just feel, oh, let me just solve it the way I like. Maybe you guys have not had any conversation. You just feel that, oh, this is how my partner wants to be loved, and whatever you like, you just do it. You don't even have understanding of what your partner likes, what's your partner's love language. But in UX research, you tend to understand what's the pain points. What is, like, I don't know, maybe people that have been in a relationship before, and before maybe you had a breakup, and all that, then you're entering another relationship. You now tend to ask, oh, what do you like? What do you not like? That kind of thing. To know, okay, I know that this former relationship, it didn't go well, but now we're in a new one now. Okay, I want to understand you. I want to know what are the things you don't like. That's the place of understanding people, understanding what they like, what they don't like, their pain points, motivations, things around their behavior. So, from the base of research, you tend to do user interviews, surveys. That's the questionnaire part I was saying, where they select options and all that. Then testing, like maybe when you built like a sample of that product, it tends to test and let's get your feedback. Because the truth is that if you don't understand your users, if you are building, and one thing I want to know, you're not the user. Okay, yes, so eventually maybe you use the product. For some people, the product they built, they are using it. Why some people they've never used it before, because they are not part of the customer type or the target audience. So what happens when you now design with assumption or design based on your feeling? Assumptions are dangerous in design. It's very, very, you have to understand the users, understand them. And how do you understand them? Interactions, patterns, are you studying their patterns, know how they talk, know how they relate to things, know how they use existing apps, because whatever you want to build, maybe someone has built it before. So you want to know and you want to do better than that. I hope you are with me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Well, don't worry, we're still going to do the live session. Practical session. Thumbs up, thumbs up. If you are with me, thumbs up. I want to say, I'm not seeing your thumbs up. Oh, people are not. Are you telling me you're not with me? Farouk, you use thumb down. What is going on?
Sorry, it's a mistake.
Is that a mistake? Oh, okay. I wanted to be sure. But wait. Okay, let me just pause here for now. Based on what I've explained, what's your own understanding of what your job should be as a product designer? So yeah, let me hear from everybody. I'm listening. Farouk, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, as a product designer, I believe I should be able to solve problems with maybe the app or website that I want to create for the user. They should be able to interact with it very well. They should not have problem when they want to use it. So that's what I believe I should be able to do as a product designer.
All
They
right.
should be able to
Thank you, Farouk.
navigate through apps and websites easily.
Thank you. Any other person wants to try? Please go ahead.
All right. Thank you for the presentation. Okay. I'm going to say what I understand by being a product designer is to be able to solve user problem and also in line with business goal.
Yeah. Thank you, Abdul. Thank you so much. And let's hear women, oh, because if you say women first, what a man can do, if you say woman will be better, yeah, or let me hear. Let's prove, yeah, prove, let's prove. Why are the people that want to prove it?
I think what the product design is being able to solve a particular person's problem or community, or let's say a particular problem after research, then making the um being able to solve the problem and
And making their life easier.
exactly.
Hmm. Thank you, Salam. Oh yeah, another woman. Oh yeah, oh, another woman. Me, I can call names. So is shadow a woman or a man? Okay. All right. So all right. So the last part, which is product design, is what brings everything together. And you're not just thinking about screens, but you are thinking about number one, as a product designer, you're not just thinking about design screen, that's all. No, you're thinking about the user, you're thinking about the business and the technology, right? Because you're going to be working with engineers, you're going to be working with product managers, you're going to be working with stakeholders and different people as depending on your company structure and all that. So design itself is not just vibes or color, text. It's actually solving problems, making people's life easier, and also the impact on the business. So you're not just saying, oh, you just use them after, but you're also in between. I used to say a solicitor between the user and the business, because sometimes the business might bring some things, and because it's your position as product designer is to know, oh, this works, this cannot work based on my research or based on my data, this can work, or based on the user frustration, or based on the user's testing and all that, this is the best, right? So you're like in between them and making sure that everything is balanced, right? So now let's make it practical before we go to the practical itself, where she will be showing us Figma, right? How many of you have heard about Figma before? Figma, has anybody? Okay, all right. So let's just quickly make it practical, right? So imagine you are designing a food delivery app. Now the problem is, let's say the problem is people want to order food quickly. That's the problem. People want to order food quickly. Now, so you ask questions like, oh, this person, my users, they want to order food quickly. That's the problem, but they are not getting solution, right? So one of the questions will be around, okay, what slows these people down? Is there anything that confuses them, that why can't they order? Even this is the app now. Oh yeah, order quickly. Because there's some app, I don't know if you have seen some app where you are hungry, like you are very hungry. You have to, they're not saying you should sign up, write your first name, your last name, your phone number, your hey, before you know it, you can even be angry and drop the phone and say, these people, it looks like they're not ready to give me food, like, or like for me to order. But there are some people, they thought about it that when a user is hungry, you don't want to first bring, oh yeah, write your name, your last name, your number one. Some people say, okay, just let them sign in easily, like maybe with their numbers, for that you can for verification and all that, right? Yeah, when you get to the app, you give them the food, let them see the food. Okay, see the food. Maybe at the long run, when the process of when you now want to check out, then they cannot be asked, oh, what's your address? Oh, yeah, what is it? But imagine from the beginning, they've asked all the questions. Even before you get to where you're going to order the food, you're just going to get tired and be like, it looks like this app is not for me, right? So, you need to ask questions. Why are they being slowed down? What is confusing them on the app that they are not able to order food quickly? So based on this assumption, not assumption, based on these questions and or the problem, you're not able to like design something simple to make sure that they are able to order. Maybe let's say nothing less than 1 minute or 2 minutes max. Maybe before, the problem was that it take them 1 hour, which I don't think is possible for an app to create for a company to design an app that for you to order food, though, it takes you 1 hour. You would have, in fact, we'd have just maybe taking bike to another junction to get food or something, or just find your way around, right? On the app. Now, I'm not saying for the food to get to you, because it depends on your location, right? So because of this, you're able to know, oh, okay, you're able to find solution on how to make their order in 2 minutes, in 1 minute, or lesser than that, right? So just think about what actually frustrates the user when using the app. If, for instance, a user is finding it difficult to transfer money, or it takes them hours, which I don't think is possible, except network issue. In fact, it's not possible. It will just time you out or say transfer failed. Maybe it's taking a lot of time. So you get to know, oh, this particular app, maybe for instance, because maybe later in future, and you are working with an organization, or probably a founder or somebody reaches out to you and say, oh, this is our app, we want to build something like this, You're able to ask, you're able to do research with other people that have used maybe the same app, or a similar app, to know, oh, based on this app, because you want to build something similar based on this app, what do you think what can be better, because that's based on your perception and based on how you see them do stuff, right? So the last slide today, right, is going to talk about common mistakes. Oh, is that my last slide? Okay. Common mistake that you should avoid early, especially as a designer or as a product designer, is number one. Because imagine they gave you a problem that okay, this we want you to build an app that connects people, students from all over the world. Maybe they gave you the brief, and the next thing you do is to jump on Figma. That's 0 over 100. You don't do that. You don't receive your brief today or the problem today and say the next thing, yeah, let me go and do it on Figma, or maybe because you're familiar with it, or maybe they want to be an app that already exists before. You now feel that maybe I already know there and just jump. No, you don't do things like that, right? You don't jump straight to design, right? Before you open Figma, you have to do some certain things, which I talked about, the processes, right? One of the tasks I want to give you is to read on the 5 design stages. I want you to read extensively on it beyond what we've done in class today. I want to go extensively. Number 2, ignoring users. You don't ignore your user. And one thing you are not the user. Let me use that word. That's the simple thing I can use. You are designing for people, not for yourself. So don't ignore users. And number 3, maybe you see one fine design that you like, you now just go and copy it. You don't have understanding. So because some people will go on dribble, they will say design is fine. Oh, let me replicate it. They will not even think about what's this design trying to solve, and just go and copy. You need to have understanding before copying something or recreating something. You need to know how they work. I feel like if you're able to avoid these 3 things, not jumping straight into design, ignoring your users, or copying design with understanding, you will be ahead of many beginners. So you will not be surprised that, but me and this person just started and I'm already ahead like this. Those things are very important. So you just have understanding that you're not the user. And when you collect a problem or a brief, and you don't jump into Figma or into whatever design tool you'll be using. Okay, I think my last slide will be about the tool, which is our main tool, especially for this class, will be Figma, right? She will be walking us through Figma. But here's something important I want you to know, that it's not Figma that will make you a designer. It's not about the tool. Tomorrow, the tool can change. People are using Framer to build, people are using Figma. with different ones, it will change. So Figma is not what makes you a designer. What makes you a designer is your thinking, your creativity, your thinking, your communication, your ability to identify and solve problems, your ability to communicate effectively, your ability to collaborate. Is beyond the two. Then you can also, for research, maybe you want to see like, oh, people have built before and all that, you can use your Google for research. Yeah, there are other tools, right? But maybe one of the things I would do is to, I think I have them. I want to be sure if I have a resource about, I have a resource I created for toolkits. I think it's, I'm going to give us for free. It's somewhere. I'm going to check, sure. Maybe try to send it to us. I'll send it through Victoria, our community manager, so she can share it with us. So you can just see things that you need to start with. Right? And if you're just starting, this is like just to wrap up. If you're just starting, I want you to pick one area, focus on it bit by bit. Start with that. Be consistent. One of the things I've seen beginners do is when it gets tough, they just quit. That's not, we don't quit here. As we are a designer, there's always room for improvement, for learning, growing, and practicing. Even if you are not working yet, you can't just sit down and say, oh, the job will come and meet me, or when I have a job, I cannot. No, there's room for growing. You have to be teachable, right? You have to be consistent. Consistency is not you learn today, then next year you pick up your design again. No, every day, how you show up every single day, and start small. Start with small projects. Don't try to learn everything at once. And one of the things I want to say is, I want to make emphasis on, because I know that I've talked about consistency and all that, is growth in design is not just from watching tutorial. It's actually doing the work. Because I've seen many people pick up tutorials, go for, in fact, one boot camp to the other, at the end of the day, there's nothing to show for it. So growth is not from watching tutorials or going for boot camp to one boot camp. It's from doing the work, right? I have a book, do it on pre-order. It's about for junior people that want to start career in product design, and also for people that are already in design. So if you're interested, you can also reach out to our host for today, which is Victoria, to get the book. And I also have some resources on my seller account that you can use to help, that can help you basically to grow your journey. I have all that resources. So if you also want to reach me, yeah, you can reach me on LinkedIn. My name is Folashade Adekite on LinkedIn. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop here. Victoria, please just go to the last slide, which is the practical. So let's welcome our second tutor for this session, Sheon, as she picks it up. Thank you so much for your time. If you have questions, please drop it on the chat. Maybe after, if we have time, we're going to take it. Thank you. Please, if you have questions, no. Why Sheon is getting ready for us? Any question, please? Okay, I think we're good. We don't have questions. So Sheon is up. Over to you, Sheon. We can't hear you though. Hello, Sheon. Can you hear us? I can't hear you. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello.
I can hear you now. Can anyone hear Sheon, or is it just me?
Okay. All right. So can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's start with Figma. So before I said Figma, I was trying to define what Figma is. So I said Figma is a collaborative tool for teams to explore their ideas, to gather feedback, and then to build realistic prototypes. So now, this is I believe we know how to install Figma, the app, and then maybe use the web. Is anyone familiar with that? Do we have Figma installed? All right. All right. Thanks. So now, what we see here on the first, what you are seeing on my screen now is Figma Canva. Figma Canva. So this is an empty Figma Canva. Nothing has been done, no screen designed, nothing. So this is how you see. This is the default state of Figma. So here we have the menu. I'm coming. Yes. I'm trying to. Okay. So here we have the menu. Under the menu, we have back to files. That is where you have your files, your listed files, every files you worked on. That is where you see it. You have actions, you have files. Here you can create new design. You can create new feed jam slides, boards, sites, and then and you can even import from Sketch. So on the edit, we have undo. You can undo anything you probably mistakenly deleted on your Figma file. You can redo. You can copy as text, CSS. You can copy as SVG, copy as PNG. Then you can paste over selection. Anything you copy, you can paste it. We have view, we have objects, we have text, we have arrange, we have vector, we have plugins, we have widgets, preference, libraries, and then help and accounts. We'll still come back to all this, but this is the starting point. Whenever you see Figma logo, that is where you have your menu to start with. So here we have the title here. This is where you can rename your file. You see the default state, in the default state it will be untitled. So if you want to name it now, you can just double click and rename it. Let me say product design class. Can you still hear me? Please confirm. Okay, product design class. All right. So I've renamed it. So that's how you rename your file. So when you right click on we have a chevron button icon where you can edit your file menu. So when you click on it, you see show version history. The version history is where you see the history of everything you've done on your design. Maybe yesterday where you stopped working was okay, you created a button. So you see it there. Okay, yesterday Sean created a button. Yesterday Sean created a frame. Yesterday Sean did prototype. So that is where you see it. It shows all your history, all everything you've done on your design. That is where you see the history. Or probably you mistakenly deleted mistakenly deleted maybe a frame. So when you go to your history, your version history, you can restore whatever you've deleted. And here, this is the export. You can export your frame and you can add anything to your sidebar here. Then here, this is the file color profile. You have duplicates if you want to duplicate your file to your draft, you can do it. You can also rename it and then you can move your file to maybe a project you've created. You can move your file there. Yeah, so that is it. Here we have the file and the asset panel here. So here, this is what we call the layers panel. This is where you start a new design. You can start a new design file here. So here we have the pages. You can create multiple pages here. Like now, if I want to create another page, by default, Figma will create one page for you where you can start your work. So if I want to create another page, I can click on this plus button, add new page. When you click on it, it creates another page for you. That is page 2. Are you with me? All right. Yeah. So under the layers panel, we have the pages which I've showed now. We have the pages, we have the file. Under the file, we have the pages, and then we have the assets. We have the asset panel too. We have the assets tab rather. The asset tab. So under the asset tab, this is where you see your local file layers. Your local file layers, your shared components, any components you create on your file. This is where you see. So you can search for it. Let's say, okay, you create, maybe when you were working, you created a button component. So you can search for it, button. So it will bring that, sorry. So it will bring that component you created. Then you'll be able to drag it out. This is not showing because we've not created any component on this file. So it will show, then you can drag it out from here into your file, into your design. Yeah. So that is that about the assets component. That is where you view all your local files and your components, or you see your libraries, any library you copy or you import that you want to use, all your icon sets. So this is where you see it. You can just type the name here, search for the name here, and then you bring it out into your design. Yeah. So the next thing we have the layers. Under these layers, that is where you have all your elements, all the elements you create on this Canva. Let me say, okay, for example, let me just draw a rectangle. So when you click on it here, can you see? So I can see the rectangle. That means I've created maybe an element. So this is where you see everything. Every element you create on your Canva, you see them on the layers panel here. Yeah, on the layers section here, that is where you see them. So another thing we have is, okay, let's move to these tools here. Here we have our toolbar. We have our toolbar. The first tool here is our move tool. That is all scale tool. You can call it your move tool or scale tool. So the shortcut is already written there, and that is V. When you press V on your keyboard, it gets selected. So that is it. I'll move to. And what do you use it for? You use it for selecting or resizing your elements. Let me draw this. Draw a rectangle. So move to. I've clicked on move to now. So I can use it to move my elements around my Canva. Do you get around the Canva? So I can move it to anywhere I want it to move it to. And I can also use it to resize my elements, just like as I'm doing it now. So you can use it to resize your elements. Yeah. Do you get that? So that is what move to or your shape to does. Scale to rather, not shape, scale to. So the next tool here is our frame tool. So or selection tool. The frame tool is like is where you select your frame, the frame you want to use for your design. Maybe, okay, for example, if I'm designing a mobile screen, once you select it, so it gets displayed on the right hand side here. Please confirm you can see it here. All right. So now, once you select your frame tool, you see the frame tool in action here. It displays the frames here, the available frames here. Maybe you want to design for a phone screen, you can select any phone screen from here, or you want to design for a tab, you can pick it from here. And if it is desktop, you can pick it from here. Presentation, watch, paper, social media. Maybe you want to design a social media, maybe flyer or so. You can pick anything from here. Okay, now let's say we want to design a mobile screen. You just select your frame and then you click on phone. Phone. You can pick anything, any frame size that you want. Let me pick iPhone 6, 15, or for example 16, 17 Pro, for example. So once you click on it, frame, and you click, it will paste on your Canva by itself. So you don't need to click on it and come and draw it. No, it will automatically draw it itself. So now let's say this is the frame we are working with. And then when you if you go back to your layers tab here, you see that it's already on the layers tab here. It already shows that, okay, I have an iPhone frame already selected here. So everything that is on my Canva here is already showing on the layers tab here. So that is how it works. So the next tool here is our rectangle tool. Our rectangle tool. You also call it shape tool. Yeah. When you hover on it, you will see the name shape tool. So it has an icon. When you click on it, that is where you see everything that is embedded in it. We have the rectangle, we have the line, we have the arrow, we have the ellipse, polygon, star, and then image. Now I can decide to click on the rectangle. I'll draw rectangle. I can decide to click on the line. I'll be able to draw a line. I hope you can see my screen. Okay. Why it's not showing is because the stroke on our line is white. That's F. But if I want it to be visible now, I can change it to black, which is 0. Can you see that? Yeah. So now it's visible. So let's go back to our shape tool. You can pick the arrow. Yeah. Can pick the arrow to arrow line too. And these two, you can pick the eclipse tool. Anything you pick from this shape tool and you draw it out here, it will give you the exact thing you picked from the shape tool. And then here too. If you want to bring in any image, so you can just click on it and then you can drag or click on place, or you can drag to paste it on your, can you see? So you can drag to place it on your Canva, or you just click place all, and it will what? It will place on your Canva. Yeah. So that is that. So the next tool we have here is our creation tools. What does it do? Our creation tool, you can also call it a pencil. Pencil. It's for drawing maybe a custom vector. You can use it to draw your vector, anything you want to draw. So under it, we have the pencil and we have the pen. Are we still following? Thumbs up. Okay, yeah. Thank you. So here we have the pencil. When you click on the pencil, you can use it to draw anything you want to draw. Maybe you have, maybe for example, you want to, you're working on maybe a statistics, on something that involves statistics or drawing a graph. You can just pick your pen tool and use it to draw. Okay, yeah, and then pick it again, use it to draw. Can you see? So with this, I have a graph already, or chart. Yeah. I see it. So I just made it visible. So with this, I have a chart I can use in my design. I'll just include all the necessary elements and labels there. So that is what the pencil is all about. And we have pencil tool as well. It works the same way. You can use it to draw any shape you want. Maybe you want a shape like this. You want to include it in your design. You can include it. You can use it for illustration. You can use it to just use it for any shape you want to draw in your design, just to beautify your design. So that is what it does. And the next thing, we have our text tool, and the shortcut is text tool. So for the text tool, it's for adding your typography on on your design. Let me click on it. You can click you can click on T on your keyboard, or you click on it. So here I have, when you click on it, and then you can, okay, yeah, or is and so that is what your text tool does. Once you click on it, and then once you click on it and you drop it on your Canva, you can start typing anything you want to type. Yeah, do we understand that? So the next tool here is our comments. So that is where, sorry, okay, yeah, our comments. That is where you drop your feedback. As you see, when I clicked on it, something happened. I think my network. Okay, yeah, something happened on the right side panel. Yeah, you can see, you can search for comments here. You can search for comments here, and then you can also type your comment. Maybe, for example, maybe on this frame, I want to drop a comment. You can just click on it. What's happening? It's not clicking. Okay. Sorry. Sorry, I'm back. So yeah. So probably I want to drop a comment on this frame. You can just click on it, and then, okay, maybe I want to say, okay, make this circle, make this, make this shape a perfect circle. So once you click enter, can you see it here? Make this shape a perfect circle. So anything you are anybody you are communicating with would see it. Maybe I and the Coach Fola, we are the one working on this Canva. So immediately I drop the comment, she's going to see it once she logs into the once she comes back into this to this file. So she's going to see it on the comment section. Yeah. So the next thing we have here is I want to look for the name. Sorry. Escape. Yeah. So the next thing we have here is the resource or component. So here, this is where you can search for your assets. You can search for your plugin as well. So these are the recent plugins I used in my own file, in my own design. So it will be listed here. And then you can also come here to look for assets. If you have any assets you've created, you'll find it here. And then here, the for plugins, you can search for any plugins you want to use in your file here. Probably you want to pick an icon. You can come to Iconify. I use Iconify a lot. So you can click on it. Once you click click on it, it will run the plugin. So the plugin is running. Oh, sorry, I think it's my network. It's taking time. So let's just move to another thing. Okay, it's taking time. Yeah. So here we have the yeah. So here we have another what's it called? Draw. Here you have our drawing tool. Yeah. You can pick a pen here, you can pick a brush, you can pick a pencil. It's useful for those that do illustration a lot. So yeah, you can just pick anything you want to use. This is the brush tool. This is the yeah pencil, and here this is the pen. You can also adjust it here. You can adjust it. You can pick it from. You can adjust it here if you want it to be big. You can adjust it from here. Yeah. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me? All right. Yeah, sorry. Sorry about that. So next thing, let's move to the the right panel. Yeah, let's move to the right panel. Mm, I want to deselect this. Yeah. So on the right panel, what is happening? Select now. Yeah. So on the right panel here, we have two tabs there. We have the design, the design, and then the prototype. For the design, this is where you see all your design properties, any properties you want to add to your design. Maybe you want to add spacing, maybe you want to position your design, you want to align your design, maybe you want to add effects to your design. When I say effect, I mean shadow effect, or you want to add stroke, or you want to add layout guide to your design. So this is where you see all that. And then for the prototype tab, this is where you can connect your screens. Maybe I want to connect these screens to these screens. That is where you, once you select prototype, it will bring out the, yeah. So it will bring out the connection string here. So you can connect it from here to here. So that is it. And then here, you can click on any interaction you want from the first frame to the second frame. Yeah. So let's now go into the property here. So now let's say I have, let me use my rectangle tool. Let's say I have rectangles here. I can copy. If I want to copy, it's either I right click and click copy, or I press Ctrl C. Then you press Ctrl C, it will copy, and then Ctrl V is for paste. You can also right click to paste as well. Let's click paste here. Can you see? So you can use the shortcut, or you right click, then you see the menu that you can click from. So that is it. So now let's say I have elements here. I have different elements here. I have my rectangle all scattered all over my frame. Now, I want them to be aligned. Yeah, I want them to be aligned. Maybe I want this to be on the same line with this. So this is what I'll do. I'll select the first frame and the second frame. Then I'll come to my position and then align it to the what? To the top. Did you see that? Let me know if you are following. Hello? Is anyone following me? Okay, Abdulaziz Salem. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So that is how you align your elements in your design. So another thing, so let's say I want these three to be aligned. Let me arrange it. Let me scatter it. So here I'll click on the three elements. First, I can align it equally, like distribute it horizontally. Okay. So when you distribute it horizontally, sorry, oh, what's happening? Okay, let me bring it inside my frame. So here, what is happening? So I can click on the three elements and then just align them to the top. After aligning them to the top, if you want an equal spacing between them, if you want an equal spacing between them, so you can distribute, you just click on distribute horizontal spacing. So this is it. I don't let me redo it. Okay. So now I want them aligned. First, I'll click on align top, and then the next thing I will do is then distribute horizontal spacing. Did you say that? Yeah. So that is, so here the next thing is layout. Next thing is layout. Layout, you can distribute, let's say I have these three elements. I have these three elements. So now I want them to, okay, let me click here. I have three elements in an auto layout. Auto layout is shift A. That is, you want an element to be in a frame. You want to group them all in a frame. That is control. That's auto layout. Control A. So now maybe I want these three elements to align vertically. Now they are aligned horizontally. So I want them to align vertically. You just click on this. You click on this direction, this arrow, vertical arrow direction under auto lay. I'm under auto layout now. So you click on it. If you want to return them back to the horizontal layout, you click on this. You get, you click on this to align them horizontally. So for this, I'm going to click on. So for this, maybe I want a part to be bigger than the other part. Here I can adjust it here. Maybe okay, this is what I want. I want my grid to be 4 by 2. I'll just click on it. Can you see the grid? I don't know if you can see it. Let me know if you can see what I just did here. Okay, designer Fola. Hello, you can speak, ma.
Designer Fola, you can talk. Hello. Oh, your hand is raised. Can you hear me, ma? She can't hear me. Can anyone hear me? I don't know if it's my speaker or she can't hear me. Okay. I think it's from her. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So let me just run through it. And then for my appearance, maybe I want to reduce the opacity of this rectangle, this my shape. I can just click on, maybe let me say 30. Can you see that? And if I don't want the color to show at all, I can put 0. So it will be transparent. Can you see that? Let me take it back to 100. Yeah. Sorry. Excuse me, please. Okay, so I just got to know now that our time is fast spent. Okay, let's just design a screen. Yeah. So I'll keep explaining as so let's select our frame. We are designing with iPhone 16. So now let's say we want to design a login page, login screen. If you want to rename your screen, you can rename, double click, and then you can rename it login screen. So on our login screen, we have our headline text, our text too. So we have login. So this is our text too. You can choose your typography from here. Let's say we want to use 16. Type in 16 and then click on the weight you want, if it's medium, semi-bold or bold. Okay, let's click on it. Okay, let's make our main headline 24. Is that you type or you click and then you choose your event. So here, so the first thing to do is to set your layout grid. So click on, you can set it here. Can you see it? So this is it, where you can set your layout grid. Here, you come here, you choose column. And the reason why we are including a layout grid is to give our design a structure. You get to give it a structure to keep the spacing consistent. So that is why you are giving it a grid. So here you choose column. Here you can 4. Just make sure you are using 4-point grid system. So here you can be center. Sorry, stretch rather. So margin, I'm using 16. The gutter is 20. Yes, it's a 4 point. So that means anything I'm doing must be from this starting point where we have this red starting point to the end of this red end point. So that is your grid. Now, yeah. So this is my grid here. So remember I told you if you want to copy, you press Ctrl C and then Ctrl V for pasting. Yeah, this is where I will have my sub headline. You can reduce it to 16 and you can reduce this to regular. So yeah, I have login. You can have yeah, you can have enter sorry, enter your details. into your account. So that is my sub headline text. So the next thing I want to do is to create my form fields. So by creating my form fields, I can use my frame. You can use your frame, and then you can also use a text to create it. But what you do is that you type in your text and then you use auto layout to create the frame instead of coming here to draw a frame and then typing inside it. You can do both, but it's better you use an auto layout because auto layout grips your text and it makes it stay in place. Yeah. So let's draw text field now. I have email, email, email as the text. You can change the text here if you want to change it. You can change the size, you can change the width, but I'm not changing it. So Control G or duplicate. Sorry, this should be email address. So yeah, I have enter email. So yeah, I can reduce it or pick another color here, or I can reduce the color from here. I can reduce the opacity 16. So here you want to make it a form field. So you click on Control A. Control A creates an auto layout. Create an auto layout around it. So for it to be visible, for the stroke to be visible, you click here, create a stroke around it. So you can extend it to the end, but it must not exceed where we have our green line. Yeah, it must not exceed it. Once you see this red line, that means you should stop. That is where your grid covers. Yeah. So you can see now that it's centralized. So you have to return it back to left align and you click here. Yeah. The position left, align left. Sorry, not there. Yeah, sorry. You come to this place under auto layouts, you click left align, and here you can also give it, if you don't want a sharp corner, you can also increase the corner radius from here. Let's give it 8. Yeah, 8. And let's reduce the stroke. To make it transparent, you can give it 60 or 40. Yeah. So let's duplicate it. To make it easy, you click on the two. From the outside, you click on the two and give it a auto layout, Control A. So I want to duplicate now, Control D. So if I want to format it or edit it, you click, double click again. So password, you type whatever you want to type. Here too, you can click Control A to select it, and then you type enter password. Yeah. So the next thing we want to do now is to create our button. Text to button. You give it any size you want to give it. Okay, let's say 16 because the standard size is also 16. You can make it medium and you can also use regular depending on the font you are using. So now we want to frame it. We'll click Control A. Control A frames it. Here we have something we call padding. Padding is the spacing, is the horizontal and then vertical spacing. So if you want to give it spacing horizontally, that is, or vertically, that is what you call padding. So now maybe I want to give it an horizontal spacing 16. Let me 16. You just type in 16 and maybe vertical spacing of maybe let's say 24. Just click on 24, but 24 is too much. Let me 16, 16, 16, 16. So you can just drag it to the end. Mhm. So our button must be center aligned. You can't have a button with left alignment. It should be what? It should be odd. So your button must be what? Central aligned. Now, the next thing you want to do is to give it a stroke, like we did for the other text fields too. Give it a stroke and then give it a corner radius of 8. 8. Then we want to give our button a fill. You come to fill here, click on the plus button, then you have a fill, but it is in a white color. That is why you're not seeing it. Let's say I want to give it a black color. I'll just select this where you see this white tab. Then you can come here and give it any color you want, maybe red, maybe black, maybe green. You can come here and adjust it to green if you want a green color. If you want a blue color, you can select it from here and then click around it. Yeah. But to make our text visible here, you have to come back here, come back to fill, and then give it a white color so that it will be visible. Yeah, this is your white. Oh, sorry. You have to select it. Yeah, select your button. Make sure you are selecting the text. Then come to fill and fill it. Yeah, white. Yeah. So here you can now remove the stroke by clicking on this minus. You come here and remove it from here. You click on this minus. The minus removes the stroke. So now we have a basic login screen. Login screen. Yeah. But be mindful of your spacing because the normal spacing we work with in product designing 16, I said 16, 8 points grid. So here you see that when I selected the two, this red symbol that is here is showing me the spacing that I have between the two elements, which is 26. So with 26 be divisible by 4? No. So I can just choose any number that is divisible by 4, maybe 16 or 24. Let me choose 16. Can you see it? So you come here and type 16. If it's 24, you come here to type 24. 16. So that is how you do your spacing. You can click here too. Once you click it, you see the spacing 159. So you can reduce the spacing here. When you come here, you reduce the spacing under auto layout. Reduce the spacing. You can give it a 24 pixel. Can you see? So that's how you arrange your elements on your screen, on any screen you are designing. So yeah, that is a basic login page. Yeah. Do you understand that? So we've designed a basic login screen. So do you have any question? Any question? Hello? So since nobody is talking, I will assume we don't have. Is that Figma? Figma. 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 Yeah. All right. So can you replicate this? If you can replicate this design, let me see your hands up. Just signify here. 2 people. We are more than 2 on this call. All right. Abiodun, yeah. Okay. 4. So only 4 people on this call can replicate it, right? So that will be your assignment. You can screenshot it now and then just replicate it. So, yeah, you can screenshot it and then go and replicate it. I don't know how you submit it. Maybe designer Fola will communicate that to you. Yeah, that is all for tonight from my own hand. Yeah, designer Fola.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Please let's say thank you to our designer Sheon. So all right, so if we don't have any question, I think we're good. Victoria, please can you take over? Thank you so much for having us. So, hello, Victoria, if you're talking, you're muted.
Hello, I think Victoria, um, I will just take over since
Okay,
yeah,
thank you.
thank you very much, Folashade and Oluwaseun. Thank you. This was really insightful, and I believe everyone gained something. Yeah, so do well to subscribe to her. I think she mentioned some stuff around learning resources. Please, it's good to always get mentorship, and mentorship plays a big role in the journey. So please do it to follow her pages, and also buy her subscribe to her resources. And for Loa Shield, thanks for the demonstration. I think this brings everything home. This is what Rich is all about, to actually be hands-on. So enough of no, the theory is important, but I think the ideology behind Rich is for those that build. So it's about building. So I believe everyone on the call will be able to replicate this, given the detailed explanation from Sheun. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it. If you can use your emoji to, just show your love and appreciation, I would appreciate that. So thank you. And yeah, so for just follow up before we wrap up, thanks everyone for joining today. And for those that were also here yesterday, thanks a lot. The goal is to introduce us to front end, back end, and the full stack when it comes to web development. It's like we mentioned yesterday, it's a continuous journey. So we'll try to compile these materials, the recordings, and share with you. So if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask on the group. Don't hesitate to reach out. You can always follow Folashade on her IG profile. I'm sure she'll be happy to, respond to your questions. If it's some questions about the REACH program, please, don't hesitate to reach out. So, and also we'll be sharing like feedback forms. So please do where to fill the feedback forms to help us improve. Yeah, because in the end, that's what help us to get better. So feel free to, share your thoughts, and we will definitely take it into account. So with this, we can call it a day. We have spent a great deal of time on the call. So thank you all for joining. So we would meet tomorrow, same. We'll send out the invites maybe tomorrow or later today for the final class, which is the backend development. So it's going to also be hands-on, and we expect to see everyone on the call also. Thank you, and have a good evening. All right, good night.